I read something where you said that lying is an essential skill in making documentaries, and I read it as sort of the same kind of hustle you have to do to get a script made, or the same kind of hustle to get a product into an investor's office for a
maybe
for a
manipulation
pitch.
is a better word. You know, there's a certain amount of manipulation involved in directing. But I do remember on the first day of walking into this documentary class at NYU, taught by this woman, Christine Choi, no joke. She said, first rule of documentary films, she goes, lie. Lie to everyone. She goes, lie to me. I'm gonna lie to you. She goes, and if somebody comes to me and says, why did you tell your students to lie? She goes, I'll lie and say I didn't. And it's just very much about getting the thing that, you know, you're not changing the message. You're just getting it done in a much more economic way. It was just reminding me of a story. I had made a documentary about the band Fish. I remember doing an interview with Trey at his house and doing all these things, and we leave, and we spent 8 hours at his house in Vermont, and we leave, and I'm going back to the hotel, and I go like this, and I go, oh my God, I left my notebook at his house. And everything we had done that day was in the notebook. Have him go through his record collection, let's read an old review. And he felt so manipulated in a way. And I'm trying to explain to him, well, that's what directing a documentary is a little bit. It's funny because people talk a lot in documentaries about fly-on-the-wall filmmaking, you know, and I really do believe in the 50s and 60s when Albert Maysles was making Salesman, there was a value and there was a real authenticity of fly-on-the-wall filmmaking, because I think in the 50s and 60s, people didn't realize the power of the camera.
Yes.
And I think definitely by the time we were making Frat House, people understood that this camera could change your life. So not only are you manipulating it, but they're manipulating their performances in some way. And the key to making a good documentary is to getting past that. The same way a director might tell an actor, stop acting. This might be too inside baseball, but the very first shot of Frat House, maybe 300 yards up, is this bar on a corner, right? So I go to this kid, Beanie, who was a fraternity member, who's like the toughest guy there. And I said, Beanie, I want you to go in that bar. I want you to find a kid who's on the fence. And I want you to take him for a walk. And you're gonna walk from that bar to this street light. And by the time you get to this street light, I want you to convince him that he's gotta join, I think his fraternity was called Sammy. And he goes, yeah, I could do that, I could do that. So that came back at us when HBO wasn't gonna air the movie, saying, well, you're setting these kids up. And you go, well, he's gonna do that anyway inside. Well, the bar's not letting us film inside, and the lighting's not right, we're under the street light. What is that? Is that, you know, like at what level are you fucking with it too much?
Yes.
For us, that's what directing was, but it could be wrong.